Hi, this is James Garden at CineTechGeek, and today at CinemaCon in 2016 is a very interesting announcement, specifically for me. I'm covering a lot on HDR at NAB this year, and as you know, HDR in cinema is a little bit of it's not really specced out too much yet. And I've got Goran here, and they've released a new laser, their flagship laser. It's actually not a new product, it's an upgrade to their flagship product that allows it to do high contrast. So we're talking 6,000 to 1, which is 3 times the contrast of a typical Xeon laser projector. It's double the contrast of their typical flagship that they've had in the past. Now, but what I want to talk to Goran today about is what does that mean to us as an industry with all this hype about high dynamic range, Dolby system, etc. The issue about going into these new formats is multiple deliverable possibilities and other aspects of these unknown questions. High dynamic range in cinema has yet to be defined. These are sort of issues that we wanted to approach because this product now exists. We need to ask these questions and have an idea where we're going to go with these questions. Yeah. So firstly, let's talk about the product. So your flagship DP 4K-60L, they've done 100 sales, is that correct? 100 installs. Yeah. Yep, so that's a fantastic announcement at the show. I've had a look at one very closely. I'm very impressed with the technology and the cooling system.
There's one in Australia, I think.
We had one for training, and training was I was really excited about that. Yeah. So fantastic product. It's probably leading the world in terms of flagship products. Now, I'll let it get to you in a second. Sorry.
It's okay to get excited.
Yeah, I know. So, high contrast. First of all, how do you achieve this high contrast upgrade in the product?
Okay, so as you mentioned, this is the existing Barco flagship 60L projector, which was optimized for good contrast and as much as brightness as we could. Now we are doing a different trade-off. We are trading brightness for contrast. So we do this with an adaptation in the light pipe, so the light processing portion, where we do optical tricks, if you wish, or trade-offs to trade light for contrast, and also a new lens. So in combination, you see the contrast increasing significantly. You mentioned a factor of 2, but the brightness of the projector goes down by a third, roughly, so about 33%. Yeah.
And so, what's driving the development of this particular product?
Yeah, it's basically the market. So we have a number of requests from the market, from the cinema exhibitors, to increase the image quality even further, because contrast is one of the things that everybody talks about, and we are now making steps towards this direction. And the exhibitors love it; they love what they see, and then up to them to make a trade-off. Do they want really good contrast, 3,000 to 1, and brightness, or they want to go up to 6,000 to 1 and then, for a smaller screen or sacrifice a bit of brightness. So it's all up to the market. We're doing what the market is asking, and this is different levels of image quality, playing with different levels of image quality.
So let's move on to some aspects of that image quality, right? Yeah. I was speaking to you before, when a post-production facility does a grade or does a master, they might be doing it on maybe a 60L if they're lucky, or a typical Xenon, which is about 1,600 to 1 or something like that.
They do it probably on a 2,500 to 1 because it's a post-production tweaked.
If you got the post-production version of yours, but not that many people have that. But they usually, but so that master, how does it hold up when it's being displayed on something which has got higher contrast?
Really good. So you know what's going to happen if you play a normal master on a normal projector in the cinema is that a lot of ambient light, exit signs are going to pollute that. So the contrast will be more washed out than what they saw, even if it's a 2,000 to 1 projector. So what we're doing is compensating a lot for that. With a 6,000 to 1 projector in a real cinema, your DCI, standard DCI P3 40-foot laminate master, is going to look better. And that's, you don't need a special grade to play on our projector. It's just making the picture look more like it's supposed to look, and looking more captivating and better.
So, but this does lead us to talk about the fact that there is a move to increase a high dynamic range type image, like Dolby Cinema is high dynamic range, or their version of high dynamic range for cinema, right? So they've got a master that they produce, and as you know, in DCI land, we're very much against having to do more than one master, right? But from my understanding, if we do come up with a higher contrast master, can you utilise that, or how do you think that'll take shape? This is all just straight up. This is all questions that haven't been asked. We haven't had these problems before because we haven't had these projectors before, and we're just starting this conversation. Nothing we say here is set in stone. It's just talking about it so we can understand what's going on.
Yeah. So it's we're hesitant. We don't want to call this projector an HDR because HDR in cinema is not really defined yet. We don't know what it is. We know there is Dolby Vision, which is a closed ecosystem with their own color grading for that purpose, and you have standard DCI projector. Our projector is just a bloody good DCI 1.0 or 1.2 projector. When it comes to whatever move is going to be towards HDR production in cinema, we believe we're going to accommodate it.
That's right.
Yeah, we believe because it's whether it takes a different transfer curve like SMT 2084 or something like this, that can be done. Whether it's a higher brightness level, like 34 times 2D, that can be done as well. The contrast level in the mapping, we believe we can do it.
That's right.
So it's today you just play a normal DCP, it's going to look great. If the industry moves to defining HDR tomorrow, then we look forward to accommodating that as well.
Yeah, so I think the message I'm trying to put forward here is that although HDR isn't defined, and we may move to a HDR type format or finishing in the future, be assured that this projector will display it at its best possible light with the capabilities that it has, meaning that there is not a compatibility issue going forward. I don't want people to think if I buy this and it's a different standard, it's not going to work. That's not how it works, guys. How we develop these tools is that we will develop a standard for HDR, and there will be things put in place so that file format will be utilised on this projector as best as it possibly can. So what I'm trying to say here is don't be scared of jumping onto this high contrast because you're scared you're going to jump onto the wrong system.
Yeah, well, jumping onto the high contrast already has a benefit.
Yes.
So your image is already going to look much better than it is today within the DCI 1.0.
That's right. But I'm talking about
the future.
About the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do have one thing to add there.
Yeah.
Barco is always we're very exhibitor minded.
Yeah, you are.
We want to make what exhibitors what's driving their business, and what this is no different now with laser phosphor, and also no different now with a high contrast projector. We believe that whatever we make has to make sense economically for exhibitor. They need to pay for it. Yeah. There is no VPF anymore, so it has to be commercially viable.
That's right.
And at the same time, we also think that it also has to make significant improvement in image specs, but not go wild. You know what I mean? So we are trying to strike this balance with this projector.
Thank you very much, Goran. Very interesting product. Well, for me as a technical person, it's the most interesting product released this year. So I really appreciate always chatting to Goran.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. This is James Gardner, the CineTechGeek at CinemaCon 2016. Bye for now.